Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw.
Good morning, Cornbread Nation, Southern Fried Podcast people. Hey, guess what, Robert? Guess what?
What?
It's Friday.
Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? All these people are going to be so happy that it's Friday. They're going to be bouncing up and down, jumping and turning cartwheels while they're getting ready. Oh my goodness, somebody's going to break a hip.
Unless they work all weekend, then they're going to be going, shut up. You're too happy on this. They'll say this is our Monday.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, it is a long weekend as well for many people, maybe not all. It is a long weekend. And I don't know why we have a holiday for labor, but hey, people will take any holiday you give them. You could call it the National I Don't Care Day. As long as they get a day off, they don't care. They'll celebrate it.
Well, I think it used to celebrate the Jerry Lewis Muscular Dystrophy Telethon.
Well, it did, but that's not the background of the day. The day is a national day of celebration of labor. Yeah. I guess it has to do with unions, I would say, if I had to guess. I've looked it up before. I don't remember, but a lot of people today don't like to celebrate the day. So does that mean all the people that don't want to work should go to work on Labor Day since they don't labor?
The National Don't Call Out Day.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the people who are retired or can't work. I'm talking about the people who just won't work. I mean, and there's probably somebody listening that has somebody living in their house that just won't work. So I don't think they celebrate that day as much as they used to because they've got some youngin' at home that's 32 or it could be even a husband or a boyfriend or something, that is 32, won't work, and they're working and trying to support this bum, I'll say it. And so that's a day they're about ready to kick them out. So maybe this is National Kick Out Day for the kids or people in your life that won't get out and get a job and help pay the bills. How about that, Rob?
We go along with that. Get out of my basement.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to pay your car insurance. It's Freedom Day. They're ripping up all the bills and saying you're on your own.
Oh my goodness, that would be something to celebrate.
Burn them, get a little trash can out there, call them out and say, I'm not paying your insurance anymore. Oh, let's burn that policy up.
Yeah. That's not nice. Good morning, Tire Man. You got in here before we did, just about.
Well, before we get into anything, we got to do our shout out this morning, and we'll get into comments and everything else because we're going to give a shout out today. I like this, Rob. I like it. Frog Eye, Alabama. Tallapoosa County, baby. Hey, Frog Eye. Now, the story goes is that during the Prohibition, they had an old frog in the store, and when the federal boys would come around, they would close one of the eyes on the frog and let them know not to ask for the illegal, the thing they were going to illegally consume. And so it became known as Frog Eye. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the local legend. But you got to like a place that's called Frog Eye. I like that. The Frog Eye community.
I got to ask this.
All right.
How did they close the eye on the frog, and how did they get it to sit still?
Well, it wasn't a real frog, Rob. I mean, it wasn't a live frog. It was a frog that sat in the window. Now if it was real, I mean, I'm sure we could get the ladies down at ARA to work with eyes too, because they're really good at working with cats and their tongues. We've discovered that. It was a challenge they accepted and did. Maybe they could get the eye on the frog to close. They could just wink at you with one eye open. I don't know. They don't really do frogs, but I bet they're so talented. I bet they could do it. Shout out to Frog Eye, Alabama. Salute.
And how in the world? I mean, you threw this challenge out there.
I did.
Okay. All right, get us a picture of a cat with his tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I mean, quickly we had proof it was there. Oh my goodness! How in the
Yeah,
world did they get that cat to stick its tongue out on cue?
I don't know, but that was a full on tongue out. It was a cute picture.
Yes.
I challenged $25 in a match, and whoever else wanted to give along. I went ahead and set it on Faith. Hello, Daniel. I went out and set it on Faith, and they delivered, and it was out there for all to see. I saw it on X, and then they had it over on Facebook as well.
You got to say his name right. It's what? What's his name? Come
Daniel,
on, baby. No, what's his name?
I've got you here today. I don't have to say it.
His name is Sugar Britches.
He's going to
Good
be.
morning,
He's going to
Sugar
be. He's already a legend. He's going to be. He's going to be a Southern Fried podcast legend after tonight.
The hardest working man in Chatsworth.
Hardest working man in Chatsworth. I love it.
That's him.
We'll be loud and proud on the front porch tonight.
Yeah,
That's the plan.
He's threatened to take it over. He's
Yeah, well, if he's the hardest working man in Chatsworth, we don't work on the front porch. I mean, he might put us to work. I don't know. We got to watch out.
If he puts us to work on the front porch, we're kicking his butt off. I don't know. There's some rules to the front porch.
Well, I hope so, because it's supposed to be relaxation, sweet tea, or
Yeah.
if you can't have the real sugar anymore, you have to do your other stuff to put in there.
Mm.
By the way, when you load your sweetener in, which is your fave? I think you've said before, but I don't remember.
I use off-brand Splenda.
Off-brand Splenda.
Yeah.
I was always the Equal guy. I always liked the Equal. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I've used them both.
Huh?
I've used them both, but I like the Equal. Of course, it's off-brand usually.
Yeah.
Which it's all the same stuff. You know, they just package up the same stuff, and they get the market that's looking for a bargain, then they get the people that'll pay the upscale. Now, some people argue with that no, some of that stuff is not as good, and maybe that's true. But I do know for a fact, in some cases, this is the same product. There's no difference. They just work both sides of the street, so to speak. Hey, that's the only way to drink your coffee. Rob here, he's got to load it up. Drink it black, baby. Yeah.
I'm a real man. I'll drink my coffee any dadgum way I want to.
He's got to have his little what you said in there, your what was
Flavored
it? It wasn't
creamers. Oh, I like
yeah,
them.
well, I mean, flavored, but what kind was it? You've got a particular kind. I can't
Oh,
remember.
I got a couple of different kinds that I like. I like French vanilla. I like chocolate caramel. I like Irish sweet cream. Oh, get off me.
French
I like all of them.
vanilla. French vanilla on a Friday morning. Come on, man.
I don't have French vanilla this morning.
Well, whatever you got loaded in. So let's say you're working out on the oil rig. You're out in the middle of the ocean. You're on the platform. You know, you're down there in the Gulf. You're 50 miles offshore, and all the guys, you're working those hard shifts. And you go into the little kitchen, and they say, "Hey, Rob." They probably got a nickname for him. We won't go there. "Hey, Rob, you want some coffee?" Yeah, and a little French vanilla. How do you reckon that? How do you reckon that would go over with the guys on the derrick there?
It better go over good, or they're going to be helicoptering me some out there. They don't want to be around me if I don't get my coffee the way I want it in the morning. What the heck?
That's a good point, Tar Man.
No, we cannot call Daniel Splendid Jeans. He's Sugar Britches. Oh my goodness. I'm still not exactly sure. I started the Sugar Britches thing a long time ago. I'm still not exactly sure as to how or why, but I got it going, and it ain't stopped since. Yeah. Yeah, Sugar Britches. Thank you. No Splendid Jeans.
Did you ever have a nickname that's repeatable that somebody gave you at work? No. He's having to think hard on that.
No. Not that I recall.
Oh, man. Awesome.
Normally it was, where's that? Yeah.
Yeah.
We just let it go right there. Y'all can supply your own adjectives there and nouns, and you're probably right.
Absolutely. Well, a couple of news and notes, and we'll talk about a little bit about some things going on this weekend. First of all, I don't know about in your area, but in about a day, maybe two, it's. I think we got to get through most of the weekend. We're starting the big cool down up here, Rob. I mean, we're getting out of the 90s, baby. We're getting rid of them. I think we'll be done with them for the year, and we're going to get down in the 80s and 70s and even 60s at night is coming, and maybe even a 59 not too far off at night. But we're starting a slow cool down just in time for football to really kick in. But it's been a couple of 3 brutal days up here. I mean, like, the furnace is turned up to max kind of thing. It's been rough. But we got that going on.
Taste a little bit of what we put up with.
But we're fixing to have the cool down. It's going to be nice.
Looks like we're going to have some cool down coming up. I mean, toward the end of the week, maybe. We've also had some rain coming in, but then it's going to pick back on up again, I believe, unfortunately.
Yeah, well,
but it's going to get back off into the 80s looking ahead.
You're down there near the equator, so I know how.
We're not at the equator. We're down here near the Gulf.
You're below the equator of Georgia. That's called the Nat line. So I'll call that below the equator.
Dude.
I was so mad last night, Rob. I didn't feel good. I'm still not great this morning, but I'm better. But I'm just been a couple of days. I ain't felt great, and I was feeling pretty good last night. The Braves were cruising along at 4-0, and they blew it, man. I mean, no sooner than I got off of we were recording, got in there. It was like they'd hit a home run. It was 4-3. Then I got in there just in time, just about to see another 2-run homer, and the Braves bullpen blew it. So not good start to the. I was hopeful of a 4-game sweep. We'll just have to make it a 3-1 series now. But they had it. They ruined a really good game. Of course, Morton gave up the 1 home run, but. You never walked the first guy up in the next inning, and that's what they did. They walked the first batter up with nobody out, and it come back to bottom. I mean, the guy just comes up and throws 4 balls. I mean, just the butt in the dirt, just horrible. Made me mad.
Well, there's another way to think about that too. The bat stopped. You're 4-0. You don't get no more hits, but
I know, yeah. But at 4-0, you would think your bullpen's good enough. I mean, Morton pitched into the 6th. He still had a 4-3 lead. Just made me mad,
Don't get mad.
Hey,
it's just a game, Dave.
Well, no, it ain't either. It ain't just a game either, buddy. Let's not even go there. And to make it worse, the Mets won. That just I turned the TV off. You ever do that? You just it's good. It's good for your health. Sometimes it's just good to turn the TV off, and that's what I did. And I read a little bit. I said, you know what? I don't need the aggravation.
These guys right here cause me more distress than anything else. I'll be watching the game and something bonehead will happen, and I'll get mad. Well, there goes the game. Get up, just turn it off. And then I come and find out that they won, and I'm mad at myself because I didn't watch the game.
We do have college football hitting this weekend. Actually, it started, of course, a couple of nights, a week ago or whatever it was. Whenever it was, Florida State lost, but there was 4 games last night, but they were not really good games. They were blowouts. So just some very small schools, but there was a couple of bigger schools involved: North Carolina State and Missouri, Utah, Kansas, all ranked teams, but they played nobodies, and the results were predictable blowouts. So. The real games kick off tomorrow.
Quick question for you.
Go ahead.
We got a Georgia game tomorrow at 12 o'clock versus Clemson.
That's right.
What you over under? What do you think the score's going to be?
That game. No, that's not a ha ha ha. I say that game will be 10 points. 10 points. Touchdown and field goal.
You think Georgia will do it by 10?
Yes.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna say Georgia, and I'm gonna up it a little bit. I'm gonna say Georgia by 16.
That's a little much. They're really good, but
No,
Clemson's no pushover. And
I know.
first games are kind of weird. And 3 years ago, that game was, or 4 years ago, whenever it was, I think it was 3 years ago. That game was really close. That's the last time they played. It's a pretty huge rivalry, and it is in Atlanta. So I'd love to see it,
with
but
my heart a lot.
Georgia is dealing with a couple of 3 injuries. I think Clemson is too, but I just think it'll be 10 or less. It'll play
my
tight.
heart in this. It's going to be 16.
Okay, I hope so. I do
too. I do too. We'll know Monday. We will revisit this on Monday.
we will, but over the weekend I'll probably make mention of it in any program I'm doing.
Oh, not if I'm right. Robert,
No, I'll be happy. It's not like we're rooting against each other on this. I'm hoping they do. So on the Sunday night news desk, that might just come up in the early part of that program. I mean, got to get those things out of the way.
That'd be Absolutely. Funny if you had, Robert was right. He went with his heart. Get ready. You can practice that a little bit between now and then. You can start rolling that R, Robert. And you're either going to say Robert was right or Robert was wrong.
I can't roll my R's like that, so you're out of luck on that. I'm not doing it.
I bet you can.
I cannot do it.
Do it.
Were you going to do the cowardly lion there? That looked like you would make a great cowardly lion from the Wizard of Oz. You already have that size. I mean, and you have the face for it. You look like a cowardly lion. That was that little sound you just made. I swear.
Well, you know who you are. Go ahead, say who you are.
I'm probably the Tin Man.
No, you're Dorothy.
No.
You're either Dorothy or Toto.
No,
you're big guy. We're going to say you're the Scarecrow.
I'm too big to be the Scarecrow.
No,
that's Daniel's the Scarecrow.
What? You ain't going to throw the Scarecrow off on Sugar Britches?
Yeah, well, Scarecrow was a hard worker. I mean, he just I better not go there.
Go ahead, go there. I dare you. You go get him fired up. You get him fired up, and you're going to have to deal with him.
I don't want to face it on Friday night on the front porch. So I would say I'm the Tin Man.
You notice you changed your picture there.
You're the cowardly lion. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. He's preparing to be a superstar, Dave.
Oh, wow. Wow. I think Tarman's probably the wizard. He's the guy behind pulling all the controls and everything. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. That's Tarman. He's back there pulling all the levers and stuff. But I don't know. You're definitely cowardly lion. I mean, you just have it, man. You're it. No, you are nominated.
I'm not going to go with that. I might go with a flying monkey before I went with.
What? down in Bainbridge, they're probably thinking monkeys are fixing to fly. By the way, folks, we're working on an interview with a spokesperson from the Resistance. I'm going to call them the Resistance. It's not Resistance; it's futile. They're getting organized down in Bainbridge. We're going to get into this monkey business down in Bainbridge. I've been in communication. I have a phone call today. We definitely have an interview coming about the potential 30,000 any one time monkeys being housed and bred down in Bainbridge. We're going to get the lowdown on this and find out where it started, where it's at, and we're going to get to the experts because we've been sort of talking about this for about a month. Don't look at that.
And the bad thing is we've been talking about it for about a month, but it started off as a halfway joke.
It did.
I knew Dave wouldn't believe me when I threw it out there.
I didn't believe it.
Huh?
It sounded like the biggest bunch of bull I ever heard in my life. And he pulls up this monkey story.
And he said
we were joking about it for 2 weeks, and then we got to looking at it and realized this is not a good thing. This is like, breed monkeys, just send them off to this horrible testing across the United States and stuff. And 30,000 of them, who wants that around their community? It's double the population of the city or something. I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, we're going to get to the bottom of this. There's actually was a meeting, I think. By the way, they just put out they're coming your way, Rob. They're having a meeting over in the Donaldsonville, and they named one other community to be looking for meetings over that way. They're getting surrounding community support on this too to stop it. So they're actually saying be on the lookout for an announcement of a meeting over your way somewhere.
Okay.
So. Man, you got to be the reporter on the ground. So I'm hoping, folks, that next week we'll have an interview with a spokesperson for one of the biggest resistance group to the monkey business going down in Bainbridge. And it's got some twists and turns to it. I mean, there was some things that went on in commission meetings that they challenged. There's court action. There's a lot of people joining together and signatures and coming out and doing interviews and stuff. And they don't want this thing. So I told her, I said, we would like to help. We'd just like to help get the information out there. But I said, from what I've heard, I'm against it. I don't, I don't, it's a lot closer to Robert than it is me, but I don't want it in Georgia. I don't think it's a good thing. And I'm saying that as myself. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I just think I don't want it. The more I hear about it, it just makes me kind of sick at my stomach to even think about it. So,
there's a lot of waste involved there, and it just,
and then Rob, the second thing I'm going to let you talk about this. There's a couple of interesting things going on because we've got the big interview coming out that we did with George Eshelman coming out tomorrow night at 8:00. Please don't miss that. That's an hour-long interview about the movie The Keeper, about his life, and it's awesome. We're going to be cutting a promo. There's a promo of him, and we'll probably run that here in a minute, where he's talking about being on the show. But we're going to run a promo. Rob, he's about it coming out on Saturday ourselves, but we want to include into that the suicide hotline and for veterans, and also this offer that George has made to veterans or others. So take it away, man. Talk about a little bit about the goings on we got with the movie The Keeper.
Mr. George Eshelman, he is the keeper. That's his trail name. For the Appalachian Trail, 363 name tags that he took with him. I believe that's the right one.
363, that's right. 5 pounds.
Yeah, a lot of pounds, extra weight and stuff like that. He went up on the Appalachian Trail, and he started in Maine, and he brought them all the way to Georgia. And it's about his journey.
And he never planned to finish the journey.
No, he never planned to finish the journey, but he did. One of the things that they talked about throughout the movie was the trail provides. Well, in the trail of life, God provides on everything if you open your heart to Him, and He does. And this is a good example of that. Yes, definitely, this is a movie to watch. It's been out in theaters since Memorial Day. If it's not at your movie theater, go ahead and request it. But it is going to start streaming on November the 8th on Amazon Prime. So it is definitely worth watching. It's based on his story, and it will jerk some tears right out of your eyes. I mean, it's heartbreaking, and some of the numbers that come up in there are very important. 22 is one that will stick out in your brain for a long time. At least I hope it does. And that's the number of veteran suicides in this country at a minimum every day. Every day. 22. More than half the suicides in this country come from less than 1% of the population. And that's something that we need to fix. It has to be fixed.
So along with that, and me and Rob sort of kicking this thing around. We're talking about, and Monday, for the number 22, I put it out there, and I think we're going to go with it. Start Monday, we're going to do 22 days of where we're going to release something every day about that on our streams for 22 days. You'll see more about that. We're just going to bring attention to it for 22 days. There's George with the name tags on the trail back a few years ago. And, of course, the promo screen there for The keeper. Great movie, powerful movie. Got to see it. Just watch the interview. I'm not saying that because we did it. I'm saying it's because his story. He talks a lot about the movie and behind the scenes stuff that you would not know even if you watch the movie. And there's a couple times, Rob, it just raised the hair on the back of my neck when he was talking about some of the things behind the scenes. And just a great guy. We're gonna have him back once after I saw the streaming and I'm hoping. You know what, Rob, and I don't know if it'd even be possible, but I would love to have the character. I'd love to get an interview with the character that played him in that movie in the future. I would love to talk to him and see how he felt about that. But we'll try to get somebody from the cast. Hey, we'll do it. We'll get them on here. But let's let people watch it, and then we'll see if we can't work that out. There's always a way. We serve a big God.
This movie, they have a Veterans Award every year, Veterans Choice Award. This movie, 90 out of 20,000 plus people, 98% voted for it, for this movie, for the Veterans Choice Award. It's that deep. It's that powerful. And we want to get the word out on it because not many people, I didn't know about it. Did you know about it?
I'd never heard the story before.
So let's get the word out on that from everybody. This movie is pertinent. It is heartfelt. And everybody needs to see it, in my opinion, especially you veterans out there. Anybody that might be struggling.
Anybody with suicide that struggles, with the thoughts of that.
Whether you're family, a victim, you've lost one of your family members, anybody. Watch it.
Yeah, even if someone has already, unfortunately, that has happened. This movie is still must see for various reasons because it is an encouragement. Even because the movie deals with some people who have. I mean, obviously, the 363 names, those were all people who had committed suicide. So it is a part of that story. He didn't, and thankfully has not. And he says he's in a good place, but those people didn't. And so if you've had that happen to someone you know in your family or friend or acquaintance or neighbor or something, it's still a must see. And it's one of those movies I'll watch multiple times. We were allowed to see it because we were doing the interview, and we're thankful for that. We weren't allowed to share that out, and we understand. But after it's hit streaming and everything, I'd like to come back around and just do a movie review of it and kind of talk about it. We'll get people to come on that's seen it and kind of give their recollections of what it means. So this is going to be ongoing. So for us, we do a Veteran of the Week anyway, and so along with that, there's going to be a little more that we're doing. We're going to bring some attention our way. However little that is, every little bit helps, and so our reach gets a little bigger all the time. And with the power of everybody that listens to this program, we ask that you share those things out. I'm not saying that for growth for us, but so the message gets out. So if we put out something, pass it along. Those things get passed along on social media very easily and very quickly. And I don't see them as much, Rob, but there for a while, the 22 thing a day was out almost all the time. I still see it, but not as much. That needs to get going again because and George thinks that number's more, but we're going to stick with that number because that number is pretty well agreed upon. But and in the interview, he'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, George talked about that, I think. And it's just a lot of it gets downplayed to get to that number, but, we think it's more. I think it's more. George does as well. But it is, we're going to stick with it. That's the national. Yeah,
because it's hard to put what that number would be. 22 is agreed upon. There's no doubt it's 22. And most likely is more, but we don't know how much more. George thinks it's around 27, but 22, 27, it's still, my goodness, it's
way too high.
So 22 sort of rings out. It's easy to multiply that number in your head. You can kind of just think about that, and it's really easy. You know, the math is easy. Unfortunately, I mean, if it was an even number like 20 or something, it would be even easier. But you can still with 22, it's not that hard, and people can just figure that. And within a few days, they can see how the number jumps up. So, but yeah, let's show that little. I think we still have it in here, Rob. Let's do a commercial too. Let's show the promo that George did for us. We're real thankful. There's a little delay at the beginning. He was trying to make sure we were live, we're recording so he could be heard. So just hang with it a second. He comes in. He does a fine job. This promo. He didn't think he did a good job. I thought he did an amazing job talking about that in like 34 seconds. I mean, he just did an awesome job. Go ahead, Rob.
Hello, folks. Just got finished an interview with the Southern Fried Podcast about the upcoming movie called The Keeper. It's in movie theaters nationwide. It'll be streaming in November. It's about a veteran who attempted to hike the Appalachian Trail, successfully ended the trail while fighting his battle with PTSD. It's based on a true story. I hope y'all go see it. It has a wonderful message. It's a very powerful movie. But yeah, please go see it.
Yeah. Let's do one for the front porch too. We got that show coming up. And when we get back, we're going to talk again. Remind people how we've had more people join the stream. We got special guests tonight. Run the front porch promo, and then let's talk about our special guest coming in tonight.
Making me go.
Yeah, making you work, man. Hey, we're celebrating Labor Day. Making you work, man.
That's Monday. Don't you start telling me about Labor Day till Monday. Got anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. You know, one of the favorite things that we do is sit out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea and just talk about whatever. That's what you do on the front porch. Wave at the neighbors as they go by, or even a stranger. We're friendly people, and we like to just talk about whatever. You never know what Rob and Dave are going to talk about on the front porch, and sometimes Chris joins us, and then you really don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll laugh a little bit, we'll shock each other, and maybe, just maybe, you'll join in with us and chat with us on the front porch. Join us live for Front Porch Talking each Friday night at 7 p.m. That's your friends here at the Southern Fried Podcast. Yeah, and that's tonight. And you know what? We go. That's a marathon show for us, and we got a special guest, Rob, coming in tonight.
We do. We're gonna have Sugar Britches on here tonight. Oh, you better straighten up there, big boy. Telling you.
The hardest working man, you said it.
Tough man. Huh?
Chatsworth, Georgia. You said the hardest working man in Chatsworth, Georgia.
That's right. That's right. You got anything else you want to say about Labor Day?
Yeah, I got to start. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are.
Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah.
Man, you're the hardest working man in your house. I bet you might be the laziest man in the house too if you're the only man in the house. Throwing that out there.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you this. I'm the best looking man in my house.
Oh boy, it's getting deep. You know, your wife talked about how deep it was getting the other night.
And by the way, I sent you some pictures yesterday that we took over there at the White's Bridge. Talk about all that stuff.
We gonna bring that back up tonight, brother man. We're gonna bring that back up tonight. We got pictures now. We got way deep in the weeds the other night. We're gonna bring that back up. So don't worry. I appreciate you sending them. I'm gonna get those loaded up, and we're gonna talk about that. Yeah. And by the way, you did the ARA infomercial there. Please support them. We had fun Wednesday night. We thrown a challenge out to get. We talked about, they do a real good job, great job of the dogs tongue in, tongue a little out, tongue way out, almost the Gene Simmons look. And I challenged them. I said, "Can y'all get a cat to do that?" And so they took that challenge. I sent them a $25 donation. That's been matched. That'll be delivered this week sometime. And I'm hoping others will send donations as well. And they delivered. I sent my money on faith, Rob. I believe in them ladies at Animal Rescue Alliance. And they delivered. There it is, right there.
Yeah. There you go.
Tongue they did it. Out. This is root beer. Name of the cat. Tongue out. Ain't that cute?
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
It's like he's trying to clean his nose or something.
It don't matter. It's tongue out. They got it.
I wonder if they put tuna on his nose and he's trying to get it off.
Well, Robert, you probably had that same look trying to get some crumbs off of your mustache or something. I mean, I bet Jen's probably got a picture. She could get a picture of you like that.
I can't get my tongue as far out as them dogs and cats can.
Well, you might could do the cat. You can't do the dog. The dogs, every dog that they took a picture of with a tongue, it looks like they got 3 tongues in their mouth that's rolled out. I mean, it's that long. If those dogs, and they're loving dogs, if those dogs ever started licking you because they're going to like it when you come home from work and everything, it'd be like getting a car wash. I mean, I love it.
That's Fern. That's her buddy Fern. She got her tongue out.
It's awesome. Look at the size of them tongues. That's crazy.
This is our pet of the week this week. You got to shift over there and watch it so you can see, get the name and all the infos on it. Look at that eyebrow. It's an Australian Shepherd mix. You have to get this one just because of the eyebrow, because it looks like someone has shaved the other one off.
And what was this? This was Susie. Was this Susie or which one was this?
I think that was Susie. Dude, we do so many of these things.
I know. But I was thinking it probably needed like a rap name or something, like One Eye. You had Left Eye. What was the name of that rap singer? The girl. There was Left Eye, and then there was the other girl. It was Galileo. The one you called, the one you butchered. What'd you call it, Galileo? You called her. Galileo was called. What did you call Galileo? That was funny.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you do. I don't remember. I would say it. It wasn't Ginger, but it was something very feminine. It was not Galileo was the name, but which I just said Susie. We do get a lot of dogs and the cats. They come in multiples, so
sometimes
you get the family tree. I mean, sometimes they're all related, sometimes not.
I don't remember what I called the puppy dog.
Oh, I can't remember now.
Galileo.
It wasn't Galileo.
No.
Madison, correct.
Galileo Magnifico. I'm sorry.
I get the impression they have a lot of fun coming up with these names down there.
Oh, dude. I imagine they do too. I mean, root beer. Yeah. That name right there fits the cat, though. I mean,
but
they're all
especially with the tongue out. I mean,
yeah, but all the names fit somehow. And well, it's like me naming the one-eyed wonder here, Chuck Norris. You know, who names their cat Chuck Norris? I do. But he owns the name. He lives up to it. Unless a stranger is in the house and then he goes and hides under the couch. What was that?
He's planning his finishing move, I guess.
Okay. I heard something on there. I heard something on your end. I was like, what?
Yeah, there's no sound coming from here but me.
Well, he's sneaking up.
You're hearing things, Robert.
Okay.
That's a sign of aging. You know, you're hearing voices and stuff, and you're hearing things that's not there. I think all the talk about them bridges the other night and all them haunted stories. I think you're kind of looking over your shoulder now.
Shit. Okay. If I am, it's to see who's hiding behind me.
Well, that's part of it.
Okay. Oh, I know when I say someone's hiding behind me, I'm thinking one of the cats. You know, I want to keep the claws out of my head. I don't want them diving off. You know, I hadn't fed them yet this morning, and they're antsy around. You got to watch them.
Well, that's what the lady said about, you know, being down there at the bridge in the church and all that. Said you got to watch out. You know, you might see her. She comes floating along in the water. And
okay, I'll dive in and save her.
Even your wife believed it. I mean, she's all over that story.
Now, to be fair, my wife did say yesterday, I don't know about all that, but, you know, it says in the Bible, do not tempt the Lord thy God.
Whether she believes it or not, she emphatically said she was not going down there at night. So take that for what it is. She was not going down there at night, even with you in tow. Not happening. Was not happening.
So I wonder if we're be driving over it at night, say coming back from Tallahassee or something. We're driving over night. I wonder if I could talk her into stopping.
Oh, she'd kick you out the door in a heartbeat and just keep going. I mean, if that's what you want to do, if you want to be froggy like that, she'd open the door and let you get out and keep going. But she ain't staying. I wonder how many people. There's a lot of people say I'm not scared of anything. But if you pull up at a house and it's dark, and you ask them to go knock on the door, there's a lot of people that ain't getting out of the car. I'm telling you that. And I'm gonna tell you, my wife is one of them.
The house is asleep, and you go up banging on the door. That's a good way to get shot.
It don't matter if the lights on or not. My wife is not getting out after dark and knocking on the door. She's not doing it. She will not do it. And she says I'm crazy for doing it. She won't do it.
But have you ever knocked on a complete stranger's door and asked them if they wanted a baby possum for 11?
I know, but I will say this, and I don't know if she's listening this morning. I have a lady I work with. She left work late here recently, was driving home, had a blowout in an area where there's no cell service. No cell service. Could not call anybody. And said it was 2:00 in the morning, and said, and it was in a rural area, I'm not going up to anybody's house at 2 a.m. and knocking on the door. She rode that flat for 20 minutes to get home.
Wow.
But I mean, how many would do that? How many would say it's dark, it's 2 a.m., I have no cell service, and I'm not stopping. I'm keeping going. It didn't do any damage, believe it or not. Very little. I mean, not hardly anything, but I'm going to tell you, a lot of people keep rolling. Sparks flying or whatever else. They don't care. It'd be a light show. Let's go. Look at there. Look at there. Yeah.
Oh, there's Miss Stella. Hey, Miss Stella, how are you doing this morning? Oh, yeah, she's smart. That should be evident because she's married to. Just saying. Oh, she's fixed to get on me too, probably. It's great to see you on here, Miss Stella. She's been following us almost from the get-go.
She has. Thank you, Miss Stella. And I wonder if Miss Stella would go out to the haunted bridge at night and just sit there and wait and see if the lady in white showed up.
I'm saying Miss Stella ain't afraid of no ghost.
I'm not saying she's afraid. I'm just asking the question. It's all in how you phrase things, Rob. People will say I'm not afraid of anything, but they're not willing to go out to a bridge in the middle of nowhere in the dark and sit there. There's some people who would love that. There's people who go sit in graveyards at night. I used to have to run them out when I did security in graveyards. Believe me, there's all kind of weird stuff goes on in graveyards at night. I had a guy one night, I ran up on it. He had his guitar. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Put that up there.
Amen. Amen, sister. Amen. My wife would say the same thing.
Why's everybody? But you never know what you're going to see out there. Now, you might see deer. You might see a raccoon, a possum.
That's not what they're thinking about seeing. They're not thinking about seeing a deer or a possum or anything else. They're thinking about scary things or crazy people. But anyway,
we have boogers here in Miller County. We run all them out.
I saw this van parked up by one of the mausoleums or whatever you call it, and I went up there and I was wondering if they were sitting in their van or a snake.
Well, that you might find.
I go up there and there's a guy who comes walking around with a guitar. This is 2 a.m. Same kind of thing, 2:30 in the morning. I think I tried to be there. One of my rounds I tried to do was around 2. And this guy, and I don't see anybody. Then I see this guy come around the corner of the building, and he's got a guitar. And he comes walking up and he says, "Hey." And I said, "Hey, back." I said, "What are you doing up here?" The church kids used to sit and hang out somewhere. Well, it's not always safe anymore, Tar Man. I promise you. Nowadays, no, sir. It's not safe. Now, when we were kids, yay. Nowadays, no. So anyway, I'll tell you a couple stories. Anyway, I asked him, I said, what are you doing here? He said, "I'm playing music to my friend." I said, "Where's he at?" He goes, "Oh, he's in a grave." And I was like, "Okay, neat thing." I said, "Well, tell me about that. What are you doing?" He says, "Well, as a friend of mine, he's in a car wreck and he killed, and I used to sing to him. And so I come out here and I sing songs to him." I said, "Well, that's really nice that you do that. You remember your friend that way." And I said, "But why are you doing it?" By the way, he looked like he was pretty high. And I said, "Why you do that at 2 a.m.? He said, "Well, in the daytime, people think it's kind of strange that I sit and sing at a tombstone." I said, "Versus doing it at 2 a.m.? And he goes, "Yeah, you got a good point." He goes, "I was really about done. I think I'll just go home for the night." I said, "That'd probably be a good idea, especially since I'm supposed to ask anybody to leave that's in here at night. It's closed at dusk." I said, "Come back during the daytime." He loaded up and left. But yeah, it is. Oh yeah, I know you didn't mean that now, Tar Man, but it is. I've run up on them. Weird stuff in the old cemetery. I ran up on it. It wasn't quite full dark yet, but it was getting dark. I ran up on a couple that had a blanket laid out and had like a little picnic thing going on in front of a grave. And I asked them, I said, "Well, what are you folks doing?" They said, "Oh, we're celebrating our anniversary." And I said, "Is today?" They said, yeah, today's our anniversary. We've been married so long. And I said, "Do you know anybody here?" "No, we're just celebrating our anniversary." They come out in the graveyard. So ask Jen when she gets up, your next anniversary, how she'd feel about you saying, "Hey, I got an exciting romantic evening for our anniversary. I've got it all planned out."
And ask next week.
Okay. And tell her that you've got a romantic evening planned and you got it all figured out, and see what she thinks about it. Blanket, got the food. And by the way, they had a little champagne or wine or something. They had the little glasses and all. I mean, it was fancy. They even had a candle, like a little candle burning there. I mean, it was fancy. I mean, they were dressed up too. He was like in a suit and she was in a nice dress. I mean, it looked like an anniversary celebration, but sitting on the ground in front of graves in the cemetery.
All right. Let me put this way. Let me put it this way.
Go ahead.
Just over a year ago this time, when I had the heart attack and surgery, I could have died. If I try to pull that for my anniversary, I will die.
Oh, I know.
You're just trying to see if I'll do it, to see if you could just see the mayhem afterwards.
No, I didn't really want you to do it. I wouldn't do her that way. I wanted you to suggest it and see what she had to say about
it. I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you.
See what I mean? You have to be careful of this stuff,
I'll make a deal with you, Dave.
Freaky people out there. Go ahead. What's the deal?
I'll ask my wife. When's your anniversary?
Mine's in April.
Oh no, I ain't gonna do that then, because we'll forget about it between now and April, and you'll get off the hook. I was gonna say I'll suggest it to mine if you suggest it to yours, but if it's all the way in April, you're gonna forget about it.
No, I'll suggest it now. I'll do it now.
No,
I'll say, hey, baby, next anniversary.
No,
what do you think
okay.
about that? I already know what the answer is going to be.
No.
She would say, you can go celebrate all you want in the cemetery, but I won't be there. And I'll say, even during the daytime, baby, I'm not doing it. Or she might say, I'll sit in the car. I'm not getting out. I know the answer to this. I know my wife.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to 40 years of marriage. I know her. She's not doing it. There's no way would she do that. She told me I was crazy. She told me I was crazy for even doing the patrols in the cemetery.
40 years. She's put up with you that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got her just the way I want her now. I mean, it's taken almost 40 years.
You say you about got her trained? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't use the word trained. I'm just going to say everything's good. I mean, we got it. It's perfect.
Are you saying that she just minds and meek and does what you tell her to do?
No.
Not that I'm trying to get you in trouble this morning.
No. It took me that long to get.
Let's go back to that comment. I've got her just the way I want her.
It took me that long to get the meanness out of her.
You're going to see some meanness this morning. Oh, my goodness. You went there.
She's up. She's up. I don't know if she's watching right now, but she is up.
No, y'all. Let me go ahead and put this out there.
Her and baby boy are having coffee
in your life. She is one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet in your life. And he's sitting here calling her mean. Hey, go get the meanness up in her. You're liable to see a shoe come flying in there and whack him upside the head. Calling me mean.
By the way, I want, and because we're going to talk about some stuff tonight, I'm going to tell you, I don't have a ton, but I do have some cemetery stories, but I want to tell you one that made me mad in the daytime, not at night. I'll tell night times tonight. Daytime. And I was doing a patrol. I did one in the day and the rest of them were at night. We started out, I'd be there like at 7 first, and then I would come back through the night. We did like 5 trips in there at the time. It changed later, but at that time, 5 trips to the cemetery. And usually I had to run somebody out. But anyway, these 2 people were, I was checking doors on, I had to check doors on like the different places where they some of them are indoor where you can, they put them up in the, they're above ground and they lock the doors. And for the people who come to visit those graves, they give them a key at the office and they can go down there and put flowers and there's a bench there and they can sit and, have some time visiting, meditating there, praying, whatever they're doing, their loved one. Well, these 2 people asked me if I'd open the door. I didn't have the key to that door. I had key to another door, but not that door. And I was thinking, why don't you have a key? I mean, if you're wanting to visit, they said, we don't have anybody buried in there. We just want in. And I said, why do you want to go in there if you don't have anybody that's buried in there? And they had their phones out and they said, we're playing, it was a game. Which one was it? It was the online version of Pokemon. And they said there's a spawn in there right now and we want to get in there. And I got to be honest, Robert, I didn't tell them what I wanted to tell them. What I told them was I said, look, I don't have the key, but I'm pretty sure they don't want you in there. So no. what I wanted to tell them is how disrespectful that was, that they would even think that way. And imagine if a family was in there and somebody come in with a phone playing a game and going, I got it. We're good now or whatever. I got 300 points. I don't know what they get out of that. And I will add to that story tonight on Front Porch. I will add to that story. And it's another anniversary idea or just a couple's idea for you. I just thought about it. It's a true story. Happened.
I'm thinking for our anniversary, I might just take her catfishing or something.
Oh man, you got it. Come on, man.
We can do better than that.
You can do better than that.
Bass fishing then.
Do what?
We'll go bass fishing then. We'll go out on the boat.
Well, she might be that kind of gal that likes that kind of thing. But if you don't do this right, you're going to become fish bait. You call yourself clickbait, you're fixing to become fish bait. When she pushes you over in the water and she takes over the boat and everything else, as you become part of you're sleeping with the fishes, buddy. As they would say to those guys would say,
Look, I know y'all just got me on here for clickbait. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be sleeping with the fishes before long.
I wouldn't do her that way. I actually think we might just ride over to Thomasville or something. It's a beautiful town. If y'all hadn't ever been there to visit or travel around or enjoy the sights, go to Thomasville. It's a pretty town.
Tarman, I can just tell you, yes, I better watch myself here. I'm going to get in trouble. Yes, they are above ground. They are creepy. And can I just say, I could care less about even visiting the city.
Oh, come on.
Much less the cemeteries.
Oh my
gosh. There's a lot of history there that I would like to visit. But I got to tell you, I probably in my life, I will never see those things because I have no desire to go to that city. I mean that. I mean it. I don't care to even go.
Well,
but I appreciate the comment.
Huh?
Because you're right. I've seen them. I got turned around. Have you?
Yes, I'll go back. But it's not for all the creepiness. There are some good people down there. There's some wonderful people. But there's some stuff you want to stay away from.
I'm not saying there's not some good people down there. I'm just going to tell you, I don't care for it. I just don't.
It's kind of hard to listen to them talk, though. Went through during the day. Okay.
Yeah, I did too.
It's fun listening to them. Around New Orleans itself isn't that much fun to me, but getting out into these outlying towns, these smaller places, that's when it gets fun. I'm just saying. They get up, listen to them talk. You don't get no bouillon up here. It just, yeah, I did it. I'd probably do that one a little better.
Yeah, you're not really knocking it out of the park with these when you do these other voices, accents and stuff. I appreciate the attempt though, because I
don't reckon you got no reason to talk about the way I talk no more.
I have been through that area, brother. I have been through that area. Yeah, that's a working area. Absolutely, working area. Absolutely.
Either that or let me try one more on you. You ready for this?
Oh Lord.
Me and Jenny, we go together like peas and carrots. That's pretty good, wasn't it?
Folks, it's been great this morning. We appreciate all of our folks from X coming in. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, Tarman, Daniel, others, Miss Stella, all others that came in. This show does end at 7, thankfully, this morning. Robert's taking us down in the swamps with the program. We'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Front Porch Talking, and we got a boatload of stuff going on to talk about on the front porch. Y'all have a great Friday. We love all of you. Appreciate the support. Like, follow, share all of our streams. However you're coming in, we appreciate it. Send us a note, let you know where you're coming in from and all that. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Rob, love you, brother. You're a little
Love you
loony on
too, and
Friday.
I'll probably won't do any more voices tonight.
Okay. Well, that'll rescue the program. Thank you, Rob.
Oh, y'all have a great day. God bless you. We'll see you tonight.
So don't forget the music, or your wife's going to.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show.